like some important tips for speaking fluent English? These are practical tips and you will get benefited by them. As I have seen thousands and thousands of people benefiting in my long career of 45 years of teaching. Since I have taught people who knew excellent English at a high level and people who knew not a word of English at the basic level, I can give you many ideas of all the levels of learning. That is what I'm doing in the videos on this channel. Today's video is for all of you who are suffering because you have many ideas to speak. Your mind is full of ideas, but you are not able to speak them out. You are not able to say any of these things out. Whenever you feel like speaking, something is stopping you. Your mind becomes blank. You feel frightened. You feel as though you cannot say a single word. Now, what I would suggest is that you need to practice more. That is, it's not one of the 5 tips, okay? I'm giving you this as a bonus tip. Go on practicing. Unless you practice, you cannot benefit. Look at a small child learning the mother tongue. The child is never quiet. Goes on talking. You cannot understand a word they are saying, but they are making sound. These sounds combine to form language. So practice makes you perfect. Many of us did not study our mother tongue in a school or college. We did not read any grammar book or any dictionary or vocabulary book. We never studied pronunciation. We learnt it by listening to people at home, our elders who used to speak when we were small children. So that is natural way of learning. That is what I would like all of you to do. So what are these 5 important tips for improving your speaking skill? That is what we are going to talk about. Let us begin with the first one. When you want to speak fluently, please see that you speak slowly and clearly. If you rush and speak, it is difficult for people to understand. Speaking slowly and clearly makes the audience, even if the audience is only one person, they understand because they catch each word you are speaking. So this is the first point. Whenever you want to speak fast, at the pace of your mother tongue, all our languages are very fast languages. So if you want to speak at that pace, stop. Speak slowly. Speak one word at a time. Speak every word. In many of our languages, it so happens that the beginning of the sentence is very important. It is given a lot of stress. The end of the sentence has the same thing, so it is not given much stress. We try to do that in English, but that is not correct. English has stress in the beginning and end because both nouns come there, and noun is an information giving word. So you have to speak with the same amount of importance to the last word as the first word. Suppose you say, students come to school in the morning. You couldn't hear what I said. I said students come to school in the morning. But in the morning I said so softly that you could not follow that there is something else in the sentence. Now what happens? We say students come to school in the morning. Morning got eaten up completely. Students come to school in the morning. Very fast. Nobody who doesn't know what you're saying will understand. So there is no hurry. Remember to speak slowly and remember to speak clearly. When you are speaking in a formal context, do not use words like what I mean is, I think, I may. All these are called fillers. Actually, basically, one word which I find very difficult whenever it is used is basically. Somebody says, I'm basically a student. Whatever does that mean? Either you're a student or you're not a student. I'm basically working in this factory. Now, either you're working or you're not working. Why are you saying basically? These are called fillers. We often do this when we lack fluency. If you do it in a formal context, suppose you go for a job interview, then the interviewer will know that you are not prepared for the interview. If you say, basically I'm looking for a job, then you have lost your job. You said only one sentence and your job is gone. Had you said, I'm eager to get this job or I'm sincerely looking for a good job, no need for basically anywhere there, then you have got fluency. Then you have got the right formal fluency. That is a very important tip for you. Now we move to the third one. Whenever you want to say something, do not say many other things. Suppose somebody asks you a question, can you answer to the point? If somebody tells you, what is your name? Would you like to start by saying, my grandfather's name, my father's name, my name, and your whole family? That person would not be interested. I'm giving you this simple humorous example to make you remember that many times we do this. Somebody asks us something, can you explain what you're doing now? You say, actually, I was doing something else before. I was doing it like this and like that. Now I'm doing something else. So you describe what you did earlier and then you come. You wasted that much time because you were not concise. Concise means to the point. CONCISE. I'm spelling many of these because I would like you to make your own vocabulary book. I would like you to make your own spelling book. In this way, if you do, you will learn better. You won't believe, even when I was doing my MA, I used to write on a slate and learn. Whatever points I wanted to remember, I would write on a slate, because that way we remember better. And in those days, paper was very precious, so we never used to waste paper. I had a small slate like a baby in the nursery class, and I would write and wipe it and write again. In this way, we learn much better. We learn to be concise when we know exactly what we have to say. For this, preparation is important. You cannot be concise unless you practice it. Very often in exams, I remember we used to say, answer in 200 words. The student writes 500 words. We don't say anything, okay, it's a college exam. When they go for a competitive exam, they say 200 words and you write 201, they don't correct your paper. You have lost the chance of qualifying because you gave one word extra. That is discipline. Conciseness is also discipline. So if you want to become fluent, if you want to follow these tips, please remember that you need to be concise. Whatever you're trying to say it in a very clear and very brief manner. If somebody tells you to expand, if somebody asks you a question, then you can expand. That is what we do. Suppose somebody asks you about what kind of a career you want. You are a fresher, you have just joined a job. Then they ask you what kind of a career you want. Now, would you begin by telling them your qualification? They know that you've got a job. You must be having some qualification. But you need not tell them that. You can tell them about what you plan to do 1 year from today, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. What is your final aim? I remember a young boy I met. He said, I'm going to France to study. Then I will try to work there for 2 years. Come back and start my own company. Imagine an 18-year-old boy telling me with so much clarity the plan for the next 10 years without hesitation, without, breaking into ideas, getting complicated, getting confused, etc. So we have to be very clear. Unless we have clarity of mind, we cannot have clarity of speaking. Our speaking becomes clear only when our thoughts are clear. That is why I gave you a couple of videos about thinking in English. If you watch those videos, you will find how the mind is most important, the thought is most important. When you try to collect the energy of the mind, then you speak well. Then you speak wonderfully. So to develop your speaking skill, now we move to the next tip, and that is number 4. Number 4's fluency tip is, to whom are you speaking and what is their response? Your fluency depends much on this. Please remember, you are speaking to somebody and that person is looking at their phone. You think that person is not listening to you. Your fluency suffers. Suddenly you lose your thoughts, you stop speaking and you keep silent. The response of the listener or the response of the listeners makes us fluent. So when we are speaking, we should constantly check what response we are getting. In the beginners videos, I told you that beginners can practice on their own and then start speaking to others. Now suppose you're not a beginner, then start speaking to somebody. After listening to this video from today onwards, try to find somebody to exchange a few sentences with and observe their body language. Observe whether when you speak, they are looking at you. If they are looking at you, by looking at their eyes, you can make out whether they are paying attention or not. Next, you see whether they are quiet or they are moving around, they are uncomfortable, or they are, moving their hand or moving their leg. Are they doing any of these things? Is the body showing you that they are impatient? That means your fluency will suffer. Unless you are able to handle the response of your audience, you will never be able to become fluent. I remember the first day I went to teach. I was 22 years old and there was a big class. Many people were sitting there and I found my English was as good as it is today. It was no worse than this. I couldn't say a single word. I kept looking at them. Now what was stopping me? The expression in the eyes of those students who were all much older to me. It was a spoken English class and they were all in their 40s. And they were looking at a young girl saying, what will she teach? That expression in their eyes made me forget what I wanted to teach. But you won't believe, those students who were so much older than me kept in touch with me and keep in touch with me even today. They are all very well placed and they keep saying that they did learn English from me. So it was only that the fluency suffered. I could not speak anything because of their facial expressions, because of the way they were looking. Therefore, for you to become fluent, keep trying to, see what the response is. Recently, somebody asked in the comment box. I would like you to write all your comments and also read the comments and my responses, because that way you will learn excellent English. Somebody said that if I speak, you said have a conversation. If I speak to somebody and that person does not respond, what should I do? What should you do? Find somebody else. You have tried your best. You have not succeeded. Then what you need to do is try for somebody else. There are many people with whom you can speak. So if there is no response in one, don't allow your fluency to suffer. You will become fluent, you will become confident only when you get a response. So every day try to find somebody who encourages you by giving you the right response. The response may be only nodding. The response may be a smile. The response may be, a thumbs up. All these things will help you to become fluent. That was the fourth tip which I gave you. Now let us move to the last one. And that is, when you speak, do not merge the words into one another. I was going to the bus stop today and then I found that there is no bus and then I stopped. Then somebody told me that there is a bus strike today, therefore I had to return home. Now where is the pause? Each sentence needed a pause. I went to the bus stop. Pause. Give a little time. I found that no bus came. Pause. I waited for the bus. Pause. Someone told me there is a bus strike. Pause. I returned home. Pause. If you stop like this, especially if you pause after saying an important sentence, an important word, or an important idea, your fluency improves immensely. The pause gives you a chance to think what you're going to say next. The pause gives your audience a chance to absorb what you have said, to put it into their mind that you have made an important point or you have spoken an important word which will be able to help them. Therefore, pause is a wonderful way of increasing your fluency. I gave you this idea also when I made the video on presentation skills. When you're making a presentation, you should pause because your audience will absorb better when you are pausing. Your fluency becomes much better if you follow these tips. I would like you to follow them first for a couple of days and then comment. If you have questions, as soon as you watch the video, you send a comment. I find that 2,000-3,000 people see the video immediately. Now, I don't get 3,000 comments, which means you are losing an opportunity to become fluent in the use of English because you are not taking the opportunity to think in English, to tell yourself what you want to say and write it down. Somebody said, I'm editing my comment by writing in a notebook, finalizing, and then only writing on YouTube. I felt so happy. It makes me feel really wonderful when all of you are working so well. So please share your comments to let me know how you are improving, what more you want, and all your suggestions. Because your suggestions are what gives me ideas to make these videos. Thank you and all the best.